You want to buy some AMD defects? Well, you can maybe do that. Intel wants to enhance your photo enhancement with enhancements to make things photorealistic for the enhanced. And y'all are the reason we can't have nice things. Target's banning Pokemon. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet. I don't know why I introduced some southern twang into the intro, but you're welcome for that. And that's what AMD is saying about giving you this next product. In case you want something like the Xbox Series X and a PC, just go buy a Windows desktop, okay? Well, not anymore, because now the AMD 4700S has been showing up in more detail, and we're getting a closer look at the failed chip that didn't make it into the Series X but could make it into your computer someday soon. So it is 8 cores and 16 threads without the integrated RDNA 2 GPU, but with a faster CPU clock than the previous Series X. So it looks to be roughly the same. And now that we have shots of the board itself, you can see that there is nowhere to put RAM on this motherboard, because presumably, as everybody's been indicated by the retail listing itself, this thing has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, which makes it so that it's very akin to what the Xbox Series X has. And unfortunately, the person who posted these pictures on the internet did not show us what was under the heatsink, so we cannot get a good look, but you can see that there are plenty of USB ports to go around in case that interests you, as well as the fact that it has parts designed by Foxconn and Lotes. So the iGPU is disabled, so you're not going to be able to get the full Xbox Series X performance out of it, although it would be amazing. And if anybody wants to try to buy this and hack their way into it to somehow flip that switch on, I'm not sure if that's possible, but you could do it. And it also does have a PCI Express slot for you to be able to put a GPU onto it, since you can't actually use the integrated one. So AMD likely to sell this sometime soon. It's not quite clear why they're doing it. I do like this thought from Tech Power Up that number one, it lets AMD obviously make money from something that has a dead component into it. But number two, it can serve as a decent development platform where game developers could use this as a gateway to putting things on future consoles. Is this something that interests you? Does the 4700S excite you? It's slightly slower than the 4750G, but it's slightly faster than Intel's 9700K. What do you think of the 4700S down below? Would you think it'd be worth $300-400? Obviously, including the motherboard and the RAM in that, which I'm also kind of curious how that VRAM would end up working on Windows, considering that it's 16 gigabytes GDDR6 and it's not DDR4. What would that performance be like? We'll have to wait until actual reviews of this thing comes out. But I can tell you my review of today's episode sponsor of Hot News, Chili Sleep, is so gosh dang high. In case you weren't following along with the hot news situation that was going on, I was on the road for 8 weeks, just traveling all over the state of Florida for my son's therapy. And one of the things that I miss while being home is my bed, not only because it's a great mattress, but also because I installed a liquid cooled system on it. You should go check out our video by UFD Tech up there. I purchased this, and now they're actually sponsoring Hot News. This is something that I can absolutely stand behind. I know that water cooling your bed sounds a little weird, but it's amazing because you can set your own temperature depending on your preferences. My wife and I like to sleep at slightly different temperatures, and we're able to do that on each side of the bed. It also has a great app control functionality for you to set it from your app. It connects via Bluetooth, and you only have to swap out the water once a month just to make sure that everything's clean. It also has a heated alarm feature where the bed warms up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit to tell you to get your butt out of bed. And in case you're not convinced that you might need something like this, let me show you some data. I track my sleep every single night, and my heart rate while I'm sleeping usually averages in the mid 40s. I didn't realize that a lot of that probably was due to the fact that I was sleeping in my cooled bed, because as we were traveling, my heart rate was in the upper 50s while I was sleeping. And as soon, the day I'd slept in my own bed back again, there was a 10 beats per minute drop in my sleeping heart rate. And I just, like, it happens every time I come back to it. It's so good. I love it. You should check them out at the link in the video description. Big thanks to Chili Sleep for sponsoring today's episode. Let's talk a little bit more about AMD, more specifically Beige Goby. You want to know what Beige Goby is? Beige Goby is apparently Navi 24. It's going to have 1024 stream processors, which makes it one of the smallest cards out there. It could be RX 6400s, the speculated information there. There's not much details about this, Beige Goby just being the code name that we're finding in the Linux drivers for the small AMD GPU that could potentially come out and might make its way into integrated stuff. It might never actually be released as something discrete, but as part of an OEM system. We're not 100% sure. All I know is that if you Google Beige Goby, you get boots, okay? I don't know what AMD's planning on doing, but their boots are made for walking yourself to Micro Center to go pick up a GPU, my friends. And you can walk over there and pick yourself up a hash rate limited LHR RTX 3060 and 3060 Ti from Galax, because they have unveiled their low hash rate versions of those cards, coming soon to a store near you, as well as Sony unveiling that they have 25 games in the works as of right now, with half of them being from completely new intellectual properties that we haven't seen before. That's amazing, with all different sizes, big, small, different genres, what have you, as well as the fact that they're working on production of the PS5, but games in development for the PS5 is something that I'm personally excited for, especially with Horizon Forbidden West, as well as God of War Ragnarok. Those are going to be my most exciting games that I'm looking forward to. But Sony also announced yesterday something that I was also excited about: colored controllers, with them unveiling the Cosmic Red and Midnight Black DualSense controllers, which just make way more sense than the white ones because they get so grimy. But in reality, I'm not going to buy either one of these because I already got a hot news controller, my friends, thanks to Colorware for letting me spend money on you. And thanks to Intel for making games look more realistic. They unveiled their machine learning algorithm that makes the games look better, with them calling it enhancing photorealism enhancement, okay? It uses machine learning to make the game look more realistic. You can see GTA 5 versus the realistic machine learning side of it on the right. We'll leave a link in the video description for you to watch this video where they detail how it actually works using all of those algorithms. But enhance the enhancements, okay? That's what Intel's all about, baby. And Stadia is all about being alive and well. Okay, Stadia is alive and well according to Google, because the co-founder of Stadia has become the product lead, which I just think this bodes super well for the company. You lose your head of your game studio and you lose the head of product at your company. So what do? You take your co-founder and you slap on another title to him, give him more work to do, overwork him even further for a company that's clearly sinking and is not going to survive. And obviously the most beneficial thing to do is just to say that they're alive and well, and to also say, I tell any non-believers, which just, ooh, that rubs me the right way, to take notice of how we're continuing to put our words into action. Or Stadia, okay? Your non-believers aren't non-believers because we didn't believe that you could put your words into action. We don't believe you because you didn't put your words into action. You delivered a product that wasn't what you said it was going to be, and was half-baked and half-implemented, and a year, 18 months later, however far we are into it, okay? You implemented search 2 weeks ago, okay? So you can tell me that you're putting your words into actions, but you're Google. You put a search functionality into Stadia 18 months after it launched, which tells me that Google doesn't consider this a priority in the slightest, and with everybody leaving, this thing's gonna die. I'm not a non-believer because I don't believe you're making enhancements. I'm saying the enhancements are too late. Google, not the only brand of the day you're gonna get, by the way. We got 2 more brands coming up, so let's get into the next one. We do the meme update, because we got GameStop deciding, hey, today's a good day to go up a lot. 14% increase on the GameStop stunk. While it's a green day for GameStop, it's a red day for crypto. Bitcoin down 10%, under $50,000, first time in a long time, because Tesla said that they're going to stop taking Bitcoin because it's bad for the environment, because crypto machines use a lot of energy, to which a lot of people replied, yeah, but 75% of miners actually use renewable resources. Is there a statistic for that? Because I keep seeing that number floated around. I haven't seen anybody substantiate that claim. I've just heard people repeat the claim. Did some searching of my own. Can't really find it. If you could back it up, that'd be great. But otherwise, this is kind of what everybody said when Tesla said that it was buying Bitcoin and that it was going to accept Bitcoin, was like, isn't that the antithesis of your goal of being like a really great company for the environment? And they were like, no, it's great. Bitcoin good, not Bitcoin bad. On top of that, it seems like Bitcoin just drugged the entire crypto market down. Ethereum down 10% as well. Dogecoin down 15%, with Elon Musk saying that they might accept an alternative cryptocurrency in the future, which, I mean, how much he's been pumping Doge. Maybe it's Doge. I don't know. Let's talk about mining Chia for a second, because AData wants you to know that if you're gonna farm Chia, you should do it with their SSDs, okay? They want you to be able to use them because they're not surprised that everybody who's trying to farm Chia is using their SSDs, because they're such a great company and their stuff's all great because they're high capacity and they're well designed and they're high performance and they've been great for everybody all the time. And it's great that you're performing this and you're saying, hey, come use our stuff. But I mean, we're so short into it. I'm looking forward to seeing their RMA rates in a few months. Hey, Data, get back to me when you have drives starting to fail, and then you can't financially sustain all of the ones you're gonna have to replace because they're still in the warranty period. And you said, hey, come buy from us, instead of saying, hey, don't mind Chia on our stuff because we'll void the warranty like Galax did. My guess is this is probably gonna result in some like new warranty terms of services that are gonna go on when you buy a storage device, and that it's not going to necessarily guarantee a certain amount of hours before the drive fails, but it's going to guarantee a certain amount of hours per month or per year. Now let's talk about the thing that gets me the most mad of the day. Spatial is hosting NFT galleries for artists to display their work, which I'm not going to crap on Spatial. They're seeing an opportunity in the market and they're taking it, okay? NFTs is a hot thing right now. Spatial's working on a VR, AR, just, virtual ability to go look at those, which is all fine and dandy. But can we just talk about the fact that this is not special, all right? You cannot have a gallery for NFTs, right? Because the NFT is supposedly the digital original. It's the original copy. But what happens when you put it in this is that it's not the original anymore. And you're not actually viewing the original. You're viewing a digital copy of it, which is the whole thing. This is not any different from just having a normal gallery, all right? You could call it an NFT gallery because I guess they're selling it as NFTs, but you could just as easily call it a picture gallery because they could still sell it as NFTs and it wouldn't change at all. It's just marketing. I like NFTs. I like the idea behind NFTs and the token aspect of it. I hate the artwork aspect of it. And MSI hates that people are downloading malicious versions of MSI Afterburner, so don't do it. They're releasing a press release on, hey, there's a bad one that has malware, and just make sure you're going to the right site. Links in the video description for you to find out which is the right site. And Framework wants you to buy their laptop. Framework is the modular laptop that's been in the news, and now pre-orders have opened with it starting at $999 for the full version. With it starting at $999 for the entry-level version, that has everything you need. You could also buy one for $749, but that doesn't include RAM, SSD, charge, and a Wi-Fi card. With that $999, you'll get a Tiger Lake i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gig NVMe drive with a Wi-Fi 6 Wi-Fi thing. And then on the performance model, you get an i7 with double all of that. And then at the top end, you got an i7, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte storage, and Windows 10 Pro. It's got a whole bunch of specs. Really, right now, the pre-orders is just a $100 deposit for the first ones to start shipping towards the end of July. The big deal around here is that you can swip and swap components in the actual laptop and make it however you want with different USB stuff, and just, it's supposed to be fixable and upgradable and changeable. It's good for the right to repair situation. So we'll see if this actually takes off, if a lot of people want to buy it. While it's good for people who actually care about this and enthusiasts, is this actually good for people on just the regular everyday person who's going to sustain their company? And Google's going to sustain their company on making up names for cool things that they're doing, like Stadia. You got negative latency. Now for Chrome, we've got back forward cache, okay? Back forward to the future. And all it means is that if you go leave a web page, it leaves a cache of the web page so that you can go back to it and for it to load instantly. You can see a demonstration of it here. They go to 9 to 5 Mac, they go hit back, and then instantly loads 9 to 5 Google. That's the general idea. I just think back forward cache is a great name. Elon Musk thinking SpaceX is a great time to do things because that was a bad segue. They're partnering up with Google and Google Cloud in order for Starlink terminals to be installed at Google's cloud data centers around the world to use Starlink internet for just putting Google stuff in space. You should call it Google Space, because it's not in the clouds anymore. It's above the clouds. They got to rebrand. And the president of the United States thinks the United States needs to rebrand its entire cybersecurity setup because he signed an executive order for improving the nation's cybersecurity after the Colonial Pipeline cyber attack that happened, with it saying that they want to improve the nation's cybersecurity, obviously, and then create methods and ways of doing it. However, some senators did come out and say that it's a great first step, but unless there's like laws passed by Congress, as well as like other actions taken, an executive order is just basically like, hey, Could you step up the security? And everybody's just be like, got it, chief. We'll do it. Aye, Captain. And nay, Captain. All right, this is wrong. Okay, Target is stopping to sell Pokemon cards because y'all get hectic when they get released. You go stampeding like it's Black Friday, all right? As of May 14th, they're no longer selling Pokemon cards. They're no longer selling MLB cards. They're no longer selling NBA cards. It's all done because people are getting hurt. They're having to call the police because everybody who finds out that there's a Pokemon card shipment going in, they rush in there and then they just, they assault everybody with their Pokemon-ness. And it's not happening anymore. And this is all because of y'all. Knock it off. Pokemon trading card game online. And AMD is not going to knock off beating everybody. So you could go check out yesterday's episode of Hot News where we talk about how they're going to work with Samsung to destroy Apple. See you next week. Bye, friends.